All right, everyone, welcome into the weekly reading. This is for the week of July 20th, Monday through the 26th, Sunday. I kind of feel like there's a lot I'm already feeling for the reading, and it's almost like I feel like there's so much to talk about and messages, and I know I don't want to just ramble on and on today, but there's a lot I want to hit. So, yes, we are in the week of the new moon in Leo. We are moving into Leo season. The sun is moving into Leo on the 20th. So that's amazing energy. We're hitting the height of summertime. We're closing out the Cancer season and closing out July. I think, well, we'll have another week in July, but we're kind of going on the last half of July here. I am going to pull, because we have the new moon, I'm going to pull some Moonology cards to get the energy of that full moon, or sorry, new moon. New moons, again, are about bringing in stuff, bringing in energy. What do we want to bring in now? What are we setting intentions, opening ourselves up to receive? It's that receptivity. And again, love the new moon energy. Today I have a chakra energy candle here, and I have the healing candle. It represents the heart center. And there's a lot of energy around healing right now. So I'm adding that to the reading so that flame goes out to all of you watching and to the collective to help and support yourselves in clearing your heart center and opening yourself up. Because that's the key, is just opening ourselves up. Integrating things, allowing ourselves to let go of things so that we can have a greater capacity to hold love, to give love, and that give and receive energy, the flow. We're allowing the flow of energy there. I also wanted to talk about, I got 2 new stones recently, and I just wanted to call them out because I think again, stones and crystals will come across your path when you need them. So for some reason, you've come across a stone that you're just really drawn to, or if you keep seeing a same sort of stone, definitely don't dismiss it. That's definitely a synchronicity, and I would look into what it means if you don't know, or get it if you don't have it. If you have it, use it. So the first stone here is a stilbite. I have a lot of stones, but these 2 stones I realized I did not have, and they just kind of, again, fell in my lap. So this stilbite, I got a palm stone. This represents the energy of love, peace, magic, and kind of a mystical energy to it. So this stone holds the vibration of universal love. It can definitely help to cultivate inner peace, enhances dreams and just magical energies. I also feel like miracles, and it has a very calming energy and does help you clear and heal. So it helps to release anything that's weighing you down. That could be like fear, loss, grief, heavy anger, heavy emotion. So love this stone, and I have it in the reading today for everyone. And then the last one here, this is called Larvikite, and it's kind of a dark gray stone with kind of it's almost like labradorite type of what do you call that, iridescent pieces in it. I'm not sure if you can see it. This is actually a Norse stone, and it kind of represents a little bit of that moon energy, and it helps to recharge. But this was named after a town in Norway, and it kind of honors the Norse history and the Norse myths and culture, and it carries us into it kind of helps us connect to the deep layers of the earth. And here also it helps us to connect to ethereal landscapes. It's also very magical and mystical. So they both have that similar theme. So I felt like I needed that. But that's where we can find like less fragments of ourselves, connect to parts of us that maybe we need to connect with, integrate, like I said, or help free them. You know, that could be parts that are stuck in traumatic events. It could be parts stuck in past lives. Maybe parts even that feel like they have a job, like for example, that they have to protect us. And that's a heavy job. So we can help them to free them of these heavy burdens and responsibilities. And that frees us up as well. It also helps us connect to ancestors and an ancestor knowledge, and ultimately like recharging our spiritual batteries there. So I definitely want to call those out. If you didn't know about those stones and you're interested, definitely look those up. I don't have any jewelry in those stones, but I definitely am going to look for those and try to make some bracelets. So, as usual, take a look at my Etsy shop to see what stones are out there, what jewelry I have available. I do hand make most of them, but they are spiritually charged and cleansed, so they are ready for you to utilize their energies. I also have a family member who's a Reiki healer, and she does golden healer, golden dragon energy kind of into the stones as well. So they are amazing. All right, so I also got a new deck. Sorry, I think this I was drawn to this. I found the most amazing store here that has all sorts of metaphysical stuff. This is the Earthly Souls and Spirits Moon Oracle by Terry Foss. So if you're like this deck, you can go find it for yourself. And it kind of has a witchy kind of vibe. For some reason, I've been drawn to kind of the witchy energies. So that's what we're using. But, okay, before I go into the oracles, I did just want to hit a little bit of the astrology, since we do have a couple things happening this week. So we're moving into Leo season. So Leo is about the self. It represents the ego. It's a fire sign, so it's a very passionate fire energy. But Leo is really about, hey, see me, look at me. It's a very confident energy. Standing in your truth, standing in who you really are, and allowing it to shine and express yourselves. And Leos definitely don't have an issue on the positive side, really standing up and allowing, saying, hey, here I am. I want to be seen and heard, more in a positive way, right? It can also, in a detriment, be kind of go to the extreme of the more negative aspect of ego, and like, oh, I want to be, look at me in more of a egoic sense of, that stems more from a trauma wound of, I want attention. I need love. I need people to, want to like me or be attracted to me. But on a positive, I love Leo energy. I am a Leo Leo moon. So Leos definitely are not a subtle sign. It's a strong energy. It's represented by the Strength card and the Lion. So it's about really speaking out, allowing yourself to roar and be celebrated. And then we have the Sun forming a sextile to Uranus in Gemini on the 22nd. So this is going to kind of charge up the energy. You have the air sign of Gemini, the fire sign of Leo. So that air, right, when you add air and fire, it's going to just cause the fire to expand, to grow. And you can either do that in a positive or negative way. This, with that Uranus energy as well, this is a chance to really break free of things very suddenly, sudden realizations, breaking through patterns, again, breaking through communication, expressing yourself, voicing your opinion, which is interesting because we also have a Mercury retrograde right now. So I think there's a fine line right now of how much you want to, there's a fine line of like speaking your truth, really communicating, but also knowing that Mercury retrograde can distort the message a little bit or cause some conflict because of misunderstandings. So just fine line, don't hold back too much, but also don't just blast in there, especially with Uranus. Uranus energy is going to make you want to blast out. You know, things are just going to blast forward unexpectedly. It's almost like, you know, a word vomit. That can be Uranus as well in Gemini. But this is about surprise messages, chance encounters, like I said, sudden realizations or wisdom coming in. So good energy. But I wanted to call that out. The other thing is the moon in Leo. We talked a little bit about that, but this is going to help you. Let's see. It's about being bolder and braver in what you want to manifest. Really allowing yourself to set the intentions that really align with yourself, and opening yourself up to your true authentic needs and desires, and being ready to put those out there and also receive them. You know, with that Leo, there's this real intense creative fire energy. So it's really a great time to sow those seeds with that passion, that inspiration, that motivation. And you mix it with that new moon, you are really sowing the seeds for some great things to come in. The last thing is on July 25th, the sun in Leo is going to oppose Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. So this is a little like you need to face the deeper depths, things going on within yourself. If there's some darker things that you've, again, don't want to look at, that you're in denial about, it can really force you to have to look at that, which usually is done by either experiences that we're going through, someone could trigger us, but it's something, it's like, okay, you can't not see this anymore. And it's about being unapologetic as well, accepting these darker parts of yourself, not pushing them away anymore, and allowing yourself to say, hey, this is part of me. If it stems from some pain or betrayal or trauma, again, nurturing yourself, allowing yourself to go there, and having the strength and courage to do that. Because Leo is really definitely about courage and strength. And this is allowing yourself to see any power or ego dynamics going on within yourselves. Any fears as well. What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? How are you afraid of really being yourself and showing up as yourself, or maybe speaking your truth? Are you seeking approval or just people liking you? Why are you doing that? Looking at those underlying belief systems or parts of you that are really continuing to be stuck in those patterns. It's about claiming your truth, acknowledging your shadows, because again, your authentic self is going to be way more attractive and magnetic than a mask, or you trying to be something that you're not, or you trying to make people like you, or always doing what other people want. Maybe you think people like you for that, but what's funny, there's a little bit of a facade there, because that connection is based on falsity. It's based on you not, you for one, you can feel into that. If you're one of those people that always feels like I'm always doing what other people want, or I'm always trying to avoid conflict, If you have connections like that, you're not really allowing yourself to create really deep, true, loving bonds. And also connections that really fuel you and support you. So there's something there that needs to be looked at with that energy. Because life is about being real. And it's so funny when you start being real and authentic and doing things that you want to do and not doing things you don't want to do. It's funny how life all of a sudden starts transforming and aligning with that, and you start to feel lighter. Life feels easier. Again, you're attracting good people. People start showing up for you in ways that you're like they never did before. It's just, it's kind of magical. So it's kind of an interesting week. I'm excited for it. So let's dig in, everyone. This is a collective reading, so take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But what is it for the best and highest good of all the collective to know for this week? So we have breathe. So there's a little bit of like breathing out, kind of like a relief. So you could have had, last week could have been kind of a crazy week, or something happened last week where it's almost like you can kind of relax this week. There's a sense of feeling like, okay, I got through that. You know, it could be something big. It could be as little as it was just a hectic week last week. Hope. But I feel like this week is going to be easier. Hope and gratitude. Interesting. So there's almost like a new beginning here, and kind of aligns with that new moon. There's a new beginning, and I feel like that's where this kind of like, okay, you're standing on the precipice of the end of something. Like I said, it doesn't have to be crazy, like big in your life. It could be, but it could just be something where it's just been a chaotic period. And now it's almost like where, okay, I'm breathing a sigh of relief. I've got over the worst of it, and now what's coming in is hope and gratitude. It's things in your life that you can be grateful for. I think you're going to notice more things this week that you can be grateful for. I think there's this new energy of hope in the future and where you're at right now. Things start maybe feeling differently. Again, there's this healing energy still around that's very strong. So that can also bring new levels of hope. Let's see for the new moon in Leo. What's the energy there? Bring love into the situation. The new moon in Aquarius. And I'm going to pull one more. Show the world the real you. Yep. Full moon in Aquarius. You know, even though this is Aquarius on the card, this is very Leo energy. Show the world who you really are. Show your realness, show your authenticity. So that's that new moon energy. And what's interesting is we have the new moon and then the full moon in Aquarius. So it kind of combines to create a whole. So we have love, but also love that aligns with you. How do you want to show up in love? How do you want to express yourself? How can you show up differently, either in a specific situation, in a relationship, or just in general in life? So that's great energy. And, you know, Aquarius is about innovation. Thinking in new ways, expressing yourself in new ways. How do I want to show up differently than I have been? And sometimes showing up in a loving way means communicating truth, calling things out that need to be called out, not pushing things under the rug anymore. If you've been feeling a certain way about a situation or relationship and you've kind of been holding back, it's time to show up and express or communicate in a loving way that's honoring yourself, but also honoring the other person. And that, you know, that can be difficult. All right. Five of Pentacles. Yeah. So you could have be going through a difficult time with another person here. There could be some financial difficulties going on, financial constraints, or just kind of feeling a cold energy, like you haven't really, it's almost like I don't feel like if I'm in a relationship, this is a kind of energy of like I'm feeling disconnected from this person. There's been something there that we haven't addressed. Seven of Cups. Yeah, causing some confusion in regards to, this could be in regards to a relationship. It could be around a specific situation that you haven't been addressing that you're confused about. This could be, again, just level of commitment. I'm looking for something more stable, more grounded. What do I want, right? Leo again. What do I want in my truth? What do I want relationship to look like? What do I need to feel grounded and safe and happy and abundant? What does that look like for me? And maybe there needs to be some communication here, because if there's been disconnection here or a lack of emotional intimacy, or just, again, just some coldness, you know, how long has it been going on? I think there's something really about an assessment of your needs and desires. That's also the Seven of Cups. Feeling stuck, the Hanged Man around this. Eight of Cups. Maybe there's something that's just not working as part of this, and you are like, this doesn't work, so we need to change this. There's something about this that we need to change. This is also healing energy, so there's something about you needing to face some emotions that you've been holding on to for a long time that you need to work through and release and allow yourself to move past at this point. But here, I like this, the Fool, and then look at that, the Star. So healing energy, this is about a new path, a new pivot point of releasing some heavy stuff. And I feel like it's heavy stuff that maybe you have been carrying for a long time, or something hasn't been addressed for a long time with somebody. And it's time where you have to actually face this and figure out why that you had to go through that. If you were in a relationship and recently walked away or are going to walk away, I think there needs to be a little bit of an internal assessment of what happened here. What lessons do I need to learn about this? I think there's a theme here around what are my needs and desires in a relationship, and how can I stand my ground and ask for those things. A lot of people have a hard time really asking for expressing their needs and desires and holding someone accountable, because I think there's fear around, well, maybe they'll walk away from me, or maybe if I actually allow myself to ask for these things, what if they say no, or what if they reject me? And I think that's the courage right now in Leo season, for you to have the courage and strength to say, that's okay. Not everyone is going to align with me. Not every relationship is going to be the one. And then there's another piece to this about like codependency or attachment of, why do I stay with somebody who, for one, there's a lot of fear around asking for my needs and desires, or staying with people that I know can't meet me, and allowing yourself to walk away and being okay with it. But that really ties back to our attachment issues and codependencies, which go back to trauma and how we grew up, our relationship with our parents. It gets very deep. And you know what? We always go deep here. So if you can't handle going deep, then this isn't the place for you. But this is the reality of our world now. This is the shift in consciousness, is the truth is deep. The realness is deep. The only way to connect to manifest things that we really want, for us to heal, for us to shift, to find relationships that we really want. We have to go deep. So we have to go deep. We have to talk about it, and we need to look at it. And that's part of this month or this week. So we have Three of Pentacles, the Judgment card, and the Wheel of Fortune. So there is this energy, how can we work together in new ways? There's like this, there is a crossroads here, a major like blast in your face with Uranus and Gemini and Leo combo of that fire and that air of, are we on the same page? Do we have the same goals and values? Are we going to contribute to create a stronger, stable life or relationship here? Because if we're not, then this isn't going to work, right? And we have to be okay to face the truth. You know, maybe for some of you that maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's one person, maybe it's a family. You know, maybe it will work out and people are willing to change and grow. Some people won't. And that's the judgment of really being able to face that truth. That's the other thing with the judgment. It's about facing truth. You can't hide it anymore. You can't be in denial. There's no illusion here. That is judgment. That's the universe blasting in with its trumpet for you to finally hear and see the truth. And the key here is the Wheel of Fortune, though, because this is the key to moving forward. This is the key to changing our luck. This is the key to opening the door to our destiny and our fate. It's interesting, another kind of image, metaphor that I heard earlier today that really resonates with not only this week, but moving forward into Leo season. This metaphor of like a closed locked door, and you've been too scared, and this is a metaphor for your inner self. It could be some sort of inner truth. It could be facing some things from the past, but you've been too scared to open the locked door. But it's almost like the you know, the universe, your higher self is finally saying, nope, you can't, we got to go through the door. Because you keep asking, well, why isn't this happening? Why haven't I, you know, haven't I found the love of my life? Or why have I been so miserable? Why can't I find my purpose? Or why can't I find a job or a type of work that aligns with my passions and what I love to do? And why can't I increase my wealth? Why am I always stuck in these patterns? Well, the why is because you are too scared to face the stuff behind the locked door. And that's what's happening. You're finally going through, you're unlocking the door, you're going through it, and it's going to change your life. And even though this is only a weekly reading, you never know when something's going to blow in and completely change your life. It could be a complete different shift in just your perspective and your awareness. It could be a sudden healing. It could be like an actual manifestation of some new opportunity just blast in your life. It could be the love of your life you meet. So it could be show up in so many different ways. But that's the metaphor I'm getting that we're moving into. Six of Wands, the Devil, Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, it's facing the devil energy. And what is the devil? Facing our fears. So we locked the door because we're super afraid of what's behind the door. And that can be for so many different reasons. Maybe on the other side of the locked door is facing some truth about your past that you just have not want to face. It could be facing some trauma. It could be facing your parents and kind of the dynamic there, and facing really seeing your parents for who they really are. It doesn't mean that you can't love them anymore. It just means that maybe you've created this image around them and it's distorted you, and that then has distorted your relationships. So the devil is fears. It's also karma, blasting through any karmic patterns, beliefs, karmic relationships. And you could be like, why do I keep manifesting these relationships that are toxic? Maybe there's also a relationship that you just went through that was difficult and challenging. It's facing the truth to this so that you can move forward and create a new pattern and break free from this. I feel like you're really breaking free from something that you've been carrying. This could also, like I said, be belief systems. So finally you're gonna bring forward people and connections that you can, as like it could be a soul family, it could be people that you work with, but you all are aligning and contributing to the success of each other, of your success, and getting recognition for this. So they're here. The Six of Wands is also about confidence. So this is about you finally being able to break free of any confidence issues, self-esteem. Maybe if you've had issues with your success, if you're tied to work, it could be even relationships. Maybe you don't want to be seen, right? There you have some insecurities around being seen. It could be some shame around being seen. And when you're successful, part of success is recognition. Part of your success is putting yourself out there and taking that risk. And you're going to start to be able to do this in a new way and allowing yourself to be seen for who you are, allowing your skills to be seen, your gifts, your abilities, and other people are going to be drawn to you. And you're going to be able to collaborate or just have people around you that support you that are going to help you. And the Seven of Pentacles, it's almost like finally, this again, we have this breathe. There's like this relief of like, finally, something is changing. Finally, I feel more success coming in, or finally something I've put a lot of time and energy in is actually taking hold, or it's actually manifesting. You're finally able to harvest what you've sown. So there's this, you reap what you sow, and that you're reaping something very positive. And you're going to start seeing this week. Something's going to change. The Empress, King of Wands, and the Nine of Cups. Oh, yes, this is wonderful. Yeah, you are reaping something that you've wished for and something that you've really wanted. I mean, this is just Wheel, Seven of Pentacles, Nine of Cups. Yeah, you've been wanting this for a long time. You've also been you've laid the seeds a long time ago, and you could have been at a point here of fearing that this was never really gonna happen, or these seeds just, were bunk, that they weren't gonna grow. I feel like that's been maybe a place you've been at lately, and maybe that's going back to this, why hasn't this happened? Why doesn't things work out for me? But they finally start to. And you've really been, the Empress is a very fertile energy. And this is about you finally birthing something into the physical. And like getting recognized. I feel like you're gonna really be recognized as someone, people are gonna look at you like you're the Empress, like you're very attractive. They're gonna be like, wow, this person, like, again, knows what they're doing, is very powerful, is a leader. There's something that you are gonna be seen for, and people are really gonna look up to you as this Empress. And it could be also you bringing in, for some of you, if you're looking for love, definitely there's some love energy here. This is you aligning and attracting each other. And this person sees you as this, like, oh my God, this goddess. This is, the Empress is a combo of all the queens in the deck. So this King of Wands sees you as, you know, their person, as like, this is my soulmate. This is who she encompasses, or he. Again, you don't have to put gender to it. If you're a man, also this person, whoever you know, are attracting, is like, you are the ultimate here. So it could also be the Empress looking at the King as, this is, look at this man. I mean, and this man, whatever side of the fence, has its shit together. Okay, he has confidence, he's attractive, he's creative. So, and also he's stable in his life, and he could be someone who is very successful as well in whatever he does. There's a soft energy to him as well. So it's almost like I'm picking up on someone particular. It could be for a few of you or many of you, but there's somebody here. Both of the energies I love this deck, and especially the Empress and the King of Wands in this deck. There's a soft energy, this like softness about them being their true authentic self in a way that's easy, and there's no facade here. There's no mask. They've reached a point in their life where they know who they are, and they are unapologetic about who they are, but they have empathy and understanding and kind of this ease and calmness about them. And this is going to be something that you've really wished for. So let's just see what's, before I know if this is getting kind of long, I'm just going to clarify, what's the Devil Judgment about? Four of Pentacles. Yeah, blasting through any, the Devil is, this too is about any blocks, energetic blocks, chakra blocks, a trauma, anything that has been holding you back. This is about really, again, protecting yourself. This is codependent energy and also like, I need to be safe, but you don't trust people, you don't even trust yourself, so you're shut down. So you're really protecting yourself, but what's happening there is you can't be open to receive. This is a very fear-based energy, but it's also now opening yourself up to create stability in your life. That's energetic, divine stability. And that's the ultimate stability that you can count on. It's not about basing your stability on money or relationships or anything in the physical. This is about finding it within yourself. What's with the Empress and the King of Wands here? Yeah, love. Look at that. Two of Cups. So if you're looking for love, this is definitely somebody new coming in that's going to be it here. I also feel like if this is some sort of existing connection, you know, or relationship, this can be about transforming. You really are transforming not the relationship, but you're transforming yourselves. These two people are working on their own inner stuff. They're taking the time to just work on themselves. And in doing that, if two people are doing that, all of a sudden there's this major transformation in the connection. What's the Three of Pentacles, Six of Wands, Knight of Cups? Lots of opportunities here from an emotional standpoint. A lot of people coming in that are open, and this is about new connections, rewriting, soul tribe. This is about new love. It could be specifically like the Knight of Cups, like the romantic knight showing up. Oh my gosh, King of Cups, are you serious right now? Yeah, I mean, for those of you that are looking for love, you're gonna start finding it in all the right places. I mean, like, this week is almost like divine timing. That's like right time, right place, just everything. This is like serendipity. This is like ultimate synchronicity of just everything aligning and finally working out. Okay, so if it's love, this could also be just new type of connections, friendships. If that's what you're looking for, this can be new people, just like networking and finding people to collaborate with. And you're all on the same page. You all have the same values. You all have the same passion around something. And you're infusing and adding your energy together, your creative energy, to create something that's going to be huge. I mean, that could be a business. It could be just a project, some sort of spiritual connection here. But wow, I mean, huge, huge stuff this week. And look at this. This is spot on with the Fool, the Star. I mean, could you ask for better cards here? We have Wheel of Fortune. We have Nine of Cups, the Fool, the Star, King of Cups, Knight of Cups, Two of Cups, Empress. Oh my gosh, yeah. And at all the heart of it is the Devil, which is interesting. It's like it all had to tie back to something karmic. And you had to go through it. You had to go through it to get to where you're going to be next. Like, this had to happen to shift the karmic wheel, or to just, again, get you to, like, now where destiny can now shift and open up. This is like some destined thing that was like just divinely timed. It's just the right time. All right, everyone, I'm going to let you go. You guys have an amazing week. And yeah, take a look at the July readings if you haven't yet. And looking forward to closing out July and starting August. But enjoy the new moon. For you Leos out there that have birthdays at the end of the month, happy birthday. But I will see you in the next reading. Bye for now.